My aunt told me I was too young to understand the truth about our family. When Grandpa asked her to repeat it in front of everyone, she went silent. It was Thanksgiving dinner, and I just turned 23. My Aunt Diane had been making passive-aggressive comments all night about how I didn't appreciate everything the family had done for me. I ignored the first few. The comment about my fancy degree while she cleared plates. The remark about how some people have it easy when I mentioned starting my new job. But when she cornered me in the kitchen while I was refilling the water pitcher, she finally said what she'd been holding back. You know, you really should be more grateful, she said, blocking my path to the dining room. Your college fund, your car, that apartment you're so proud of, that didn't come from your parents, sweetie. I stared at her. What are you talking about? She leaned in with this smug smile. You're too young to understand how family money really works. But since you're out here acting so independent, maybe it's time someone told you the truth. I was genuinely confused. My parents had worked their entire lives to give me those things. Dad had been a mechanic for 30 years. Mom worked as a nurse, picking up extra shifts whenever she could. Your grandfather gave your parents everything, Diane continued. The down payment on their house, your college tuition, that car you drive. Without him, you'd have nothing. So maybe show a little humility. Something felt off. My parents had always been private about finances, but they'd never once mentioned getting help from Grandpa. In fact, I remember my dad being insulted when Grandpa offered to pay for my textbooks freshman year. I walked back to the dining room where everyone was seated. The turkey had been carved, and people were passing dishes around. Aunt Diane just told me something really interesting about my college fund, I said, setting down the water pitcher. The table went quiet. My dad's face turned pale. My mom stopped mid-reach for the mashed potatoes. Grandpa, who'd been quiet all evening, slowly set down his fork. What exactly did you tell her, Diane? Diane walked in behind me, and her confident smile faltered. I just explained that you've helped the family financially over the years. That's not a secret. Help them how? Grandpa's voice was calm, but had this sharp edge I'd never heard before. She shifted her weight. Well, you know, with the house and her education and everything else. Grandpa turned to my dad. Son, in the 35 years you've been married to my daughter, did I ever give you money for anything? My dad shook his head. Never asked, never received. You taught me to stand on my own 2 feet. Grandpa looked back at Diane. So where exactly did this family money you mentioned come from? Diane's face went from confident to red in about 3 seconds. She muttered something about misunderstanding or maybe mixing up some conversations. Stand up, Grandpa said quietly. Diane stayed seated. Dad, I think there's been a miscommunication. I said stand up. His voice didn't rise, but everyone at that table froze. If you're going to make claims about my money and how I spend it, let's discuss it properly, in front of the whole family. Diane stood slowly, looking around the table for support. Nobody met her eyes. How much did I give your brother for his house? Grandpa asked. I don't know the exact, zero. How much did I give for this one's college? He pointed at me. I thought, zero? I offered. Her father said no. So I'm asking you one more time, where did this money come from? That's when my uncle, Diane's husband, pulled out his phone. His hands were shaking. I need to show you something. He passed his phone to Grandpa. Bank statements, loan documents, credit card bills. Diane had been taking out loans in my grandfather's name for 5 years. She'd forged his signature on applications, used his social security number, and racked up debt claiming it was for family investments and helping the grandkids. $180,000 total. My uncle found the documents while searching for tax papers. He'd been gathering evidence, trying to figure out how to tell Grandpa. Grandpa stared at the bank statements, then looked at Diane. You used my name, my credit, and you made this child think her parents didn't sacrifice for her. She cried, rambling about bad investments and paying it back. Dad cut her off. The boat, the renovation, all on Grandpa's stolen credit? Grandpa called the police. Diane tried to stop him, but my uncle held her back. 23 minutes later, she was in handcuffs, begging for forgiveness. Grandpa looked at me. Your parents worked doubles to afford your education. Don't let anyone diminish that. Diane's now awaiting trial for identity theft and fraud.